Happy birthday, photography! In this video I'm going to talk about the early days of photography. The 19th of August is the birthday of photography, and it's also the World Photography Day. The first photograph was taken by Joseph Nicephore Niepce in 1822, but it was destroyed. The method was not good enough for the photograph to survive. It took him 3 years to make the next one. The earliest surviving photograph is from 1827, made by Niepce. The exposure time was very long. It is said that the exposure was 8 hours, but now it's believed to be several days. To be exact, it was not called photography at the time. Most likely it was called sunprint. The word photography came a bit later. The word photography originates from the Greek language. The word photo means light and graph is an instrument for recording. It's also said that photography means painting or drawing with light. Painting with light was not Niepce's first interest. He was developing a combustion engine with his brother Claude in 1807. It was 1816 that he got interested in photography. Niepce called his method heliograph. The interest started when Niepce needed some drawings for his further development of the combustion engine. Niepce was terrible in drawing, so he started to think if light could help him. He experimented and he wrote to his brother where he described his camera to him as, and I quote, "A kind of artificial eye, simply a little box, each side 6 inches square, which will be fitted with a tube that can be lengthened and carrying a lenticular glass." Niepce partnered with Lois Daguerre in order to get shorter exposure times. After Niepce died in 1833, Lois Daguerre tried a new method that Niepce had used before, the silver halides. Daguerre was more successful than Niepce, and Daguerre's method was later called daguerreotype. Lois Daguerre wanted to commercialize the invention, and Gazette de France published an article about the Daguerre's invention. And I quote the article. "It upsets all the scientific theories of light and optics, and it will revolutionize the art of drawing." Daguerre abandoned the idea of commercialization, hard word, after François Arago made a proposal to Daguerre. Arago was a scientist and a member of the Chamber of Deputies of the French government. Arago proposed that the invention is bought by the government. It was in May 1939 when Arago officially proposed a law that would grant Daguerre and Niepce's son, Isidore, generous annuities for life if the invention was sold to government. Isidore Niepce partnered with Daguerre after his father's death. The bill was passed by the Chambers of Deputies and the Chambers of Peers. It was officially law when the King Louis Philippe signed it. The invention and the deal was presented to public in August 19th of 1839. This marks the birthday of photography. It was done in a joint meeting in the Academy of Science and the Academy of Fine Arts. I think it's really interesting that the Academy of Arts was involved in the beginning and photography was not seen only as a scientific matter. There are some interesting comments about the amount of people that wanted to be on that meeting. It said that there were hour-long queues in the front of the palace of the institute where the meeting was held. The demand for the daguerreotype apparatus was huge. The word camera became the mean of the device we make pictures with in the 1840s. Before that, the word camera was a word for a vaulted room. Everybody wanted to make an image from their window. This is because the first photographs were taken through a window. Nothing has changed. People still want to make the same images that they see others taking. After the announcement of photography, Daguerre was the one who had the rights to sell camera equipment. His equipment were sold in France and also exported to other countries. Daguerre must have been a quite skilled businessman, first selling the invention to the government and then having a camera business. Of course, there were many others that had experimented with photography at the same time. Most known is William Fox Talbot, whose method was called colorotype. He claimed that he had made photographs before Daguerre. The main reason for Daguerre to be named the inventor was that daguerreotype was considered to be better in quality. Another thing that most likely is the reason Daguerre was considered the first one is that Daguerre was the first one to talk publicly about his invention, while Talbot experimented in total secrecy. Talbot only came public after the first article about Daguerre's invention was in the newspapers in January 1839. The most interesting person was Hippolyte Bayard, who had an exhibition in July 1839. Yes, July 1839. This was the first photo exhibition. Unfortunately, Bayard was totally overlooked. It was actually François Arago who persuaded Hippolyte Bayard to be quiet about his method. Arago wanted his friend Lois Daguerre to have all the credit for the invention of photography. Hippolyte Bayard reacted back with a self-portrait as a drowned man. The photograph even had a suicide note in the back. Bayard was so devastated that his work was totally overlooked that he made that image. It was the first staged photograph and most likely the first photograph that was telling a story and made a statement. My sources for this video was the book History of Photography by Beaumont Newhall, and of course I checked out from Wikipedia certain things. But hey, thanks for watching and bye for now.